I just came from Aba 3 days ago to protest. Some guy there who is a member of the Labour Party claims that he has transformed Aba. That's Alex Otti. You understand? But I went to Aba, some transformed, partly not transformed. I don't believe in half transformation. Because when you enter into Ariaria Market, which is the biggest economic hub there, the place looks like Jurassic Park. But when you get to the main road, of course, there's some, but mine is total. And I'm just answering you truthfully, because some of you will come back later and say, well, we wish we listened to you when you told us the truth. And my nature is that I tell the truth, and when I'm done, I will leave. It's up to you to accept or reject my hypothesis.
In recent days, a statement by Omoyele Sowore has sparked intense debate across Nigeria. A statement that didn't just question progress, but attempted to redefine reality. After visiting Ariaria Market, Sowore described it as something out of Jurassic Park. A bold claim, a shocking comparison, but here is the real question. Is this criticism rooted in truth, or is it something else entirely? There is a growing controversy in Nigeria right now, a controversy that has divided opinions, sparked debates, and raised serious questions about truth, perception, and political intent. It all began when activist and politician Omoyele Sowore visited the famous Ariaria Market. And what he said next shocked many Nigerians. He described the market as something out of the Jurassic Park. Yes, Jurassic Park. A place of chaos, disorder, and decay. But here's the problem. The same market is currently under massive reconstruction and expansion. So the question is simple. Was this an honest observation or a deliberate attempt to misrepresent reality? And more importantly, why target Abia State and Governor Alex Otti? Tonight, we uncover the truth. To understand the controversy, we must start with facts, not emotions. Alex Otti did not inherit a perfect system in Abia State. He inherited decay. For decades, critical infrastructures, especially in commercial hubs like Aba, had deteriorated. Markets flooded, roads collapsed, economic potentials suppressed. But today, that same Ariaria Market, Sowore criticized, is undergoing massive reconstruction and expansion, not abandonment, not neglect, reconstruction. To understand today's Abia, you must first understand yesterday's Abia. When Alex Otti assumed office, Abia State was not a model of development, far from it. For years, decades even, infrastructure had suffered neglect. In cities like Aba, once the pride of indigenous enterprise, roads were nearly impassable, drainage systems had collapsed, markets flooded during rainy seasons, economic activity slowed, not because people lacked talent, but because the environment failed them. Aba, known as the Taiwan of Africa, had become a shadow of its potential, and at the heart of it all stood the Ariaria Market, one of the largest markets in West Africa, bustling, powerful, but struggling under years of infrastructural decay. When Alex Otti came into power, expectations were high, but expectations alone don't rebuild states. Action does. From day one, his administration focused on a few critical pillars: infrastructure, urban renewal, economic revival, and institutional reforms. And nowhere was this more visible than in Aba. Road reconstructions began, drainage systems were redesigned, flood-prone areas were addressed, and most importantly, long-neglected commercial hubs like Ariaria Market were finally prioritized. Let's be clear, you cannot judge a building while it's still under construction. Across Abia State, visible transformations are unfolding. Major road networks are being rebuilt. Drainage systems are being installed to end decades of flooding. Public institutions are being revived. Investments are flowing back into Aba, the industrial heartbeat of the Southeast. And most importantly, confidence is returning. The people are seeing it. Businesses are feeling it. So when someone visits a construction site and calls it a failure, it raises eyebrows. Now, here is where the conversation becomes even more interesting. Omoyele Sowore is not just any commentator. He is a vocal activist, a man known for speaking truth to power. But critics are asking, why this silence elsewhere? Sowore hails from Ondo State, particularly the Aboy region, a state with its own developmental challenges, struggling infrastructure, underwhelming economic growth, persistent public concerns, yet no viral outrage, no Jurassic Park comparisons, no sustained criticism. So why Abia? Why now? Now let's examine something deeper. Sowore is known for his activism. He has built a reputation for challenging power, but critics are asking, why does his criticism appear selective? Sowore hails from Ondo State, a state that also faces infrastructural gaps, economic challenges, and developmental concerns. Yet, we rarely see him with the same intensity of criticism directed there. No viral comparisons, no dramatic analogies, no Jurassic Park labels. So again, the question emerges, why Abia? Across Nigeria today, something unusual is happening in Abia State. For the first time in years, governance is becoming visible, measured by key indicators, improved road infrastructure, strengthening healthcare delivery, renewed focus on education, growing investor confidence. Many observers, even beyond the Southeast, have begun ranking Abia State among the most improved states in Nigeria. Some even call Governor Alex Otti one of the best performing governors today. So when a narrative emerges that contradicts widespread public sentiment, it naturally raises concerns and questions. Is this criticism or a coordinated smear attack? When Omoyele Sowore made his remark, they spread quickly. Social media picked it up. Debates erupted. Some agreed, many disagreed. But one thing stood out. His comments lacked context. There was no mention of the ongoing reconstruction, the scale of the project, the timeline of development. Instead, a snapshot was taken and presented as the full story. In politics, perception is everything, and sometimes discrediting progress can be just as powerful as stopping it. By labeling developing projects as failure, by amplifying negatives without context, a narrative can be created. A narrative designed not to inform, but to influence. Let's talk about Ariaria Market, because this is where the controversy began. The ongoing work there is not cosmetic, it is structural. Road network within the market are being rebuilt. Drainage systems are being installed to eliminate flooding. Access routes are being expanded. The environment is being modernized for trade efficiency. Now, here's something critical. Projects like this do not look beautiful in the middle of construction. They look messy, dusty, and disorganized, temporary chaos for permanent order. So when someone walks into a construction zone and judges it as a finished product, that judgment becomes questionable. But beyond politics, beyond social media, there is one voice that matters most. The people of Abia State, traders in Ariaria, entrepreneurs in Aba, families across the state, and many of them are saying the same thing. For the first time in a long time, we see change, not perfection, but progress. Let's step away from emotions and look at indicators. Across Nigeria, states are increasingly being evaluated based on infrastructure development, healthcare access, education improvement, economic growth, and ease of doing business. And by many observations measures, Abia is improving rapidly. Roads are being fixed, healthcare facilities are being upgraded, schools are receiving attention, investor confidence is gradually returning. In contrast, some other states, including those with similar or even greater resources, have not recorded the same visible pace of change. In today's world, narratives are powerful, more powerful than facts sometimes. If you repeat something often enough, it begins to feel true, even when it isn't. By describing a developing project as a failure, you plant doubt. By ignoring progress, you erase achievement. By amplifying negatives without context, you shape perception. And perception in politics is everything. But beyond narratives, there is a reality. And reality is best understood through the people. In Aba, traders are witnessing change. Road access is improving. Flooding is reduced. Movement of goods is becoming easier across Abia State. There is a growing sense of optimism, not because everything is perfect, but because things are finally moving forward. Let's be clear, criticism is essential in a democracy. Leaders must be questioned, government must be held accountable, but criticism must meet certain standards. It must be accurate, it must be balanced, it must be contextual. When those elements are missing, criticism risks becoming something else, a smear, a distortion, an agenda. So as Nigerians watch this unfolding debate, one thing becomes clear. Criticism is necessary in a democracy, but it must be fair, it must be balanced, and most importantly, it must be truthful. Because when criticism ignores context, when it targets selectively, when it dismisses visible progress, it stops being accountability. It starts looking like something else entirely. So where does the truth lie? Is Ariaria Market perfect today? No. It is under construction. Is Abia State fully developed? No. It is in transition. But is progress happening? Yes, clearly. And that is the reality many people are seeing. So when a single narrative attempts to dismiss all of that, people begin to question the intent behind it. What do you think? Was this honest criticism or a deliberate smear campaign? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you want more deep, factual, and powerful stories about development across Nigeria, subscribe to 1010 Media, because here, we don't just follow narratives, we uncover truth behind them.